I want to show you something. You know what all those people and children are digging for with their bare hands? Cobalt. This is what apologists call an artisanal mine in the Democratic Republic of Congo. What you're seeing there is what the creators, the inventors, the innovators around the world developing electric vehicles and other renewable technologies have to rely on for the source material.
The cobalt that's being mined in the Congo is in every single lithium-ion rechargeable battery manufactured in the world today. And crucially, every electric vehicle. And it's being mined in appalling, heart-wrenching, dangerous conditions.
We're looking at a video now. Jamie, what is this, the mines?
This is video.
This is so crazy to see.
This is the bottom of the supply chain of your Tesla, of your Samsung. I mean, I'm just naming those companies.
Right.
It's all of them, right? All of them. We're not just taking...
Oh my God! Woo!
Holy smokes! Holy smokes!
Isn't that insane? It's insane!
So what does it have to do with Canada? Right now, the NDP and the Liberals, they support a policy towards a net zero grid across Canada. And a big part of their plan is to ban the sale of internal combustion engines, complete with criminal charges, by 2035. The question is, where does the supply for the rare earth metals and minerals come from to meet the NDP Liberals' stated goal for Canada? After 8 years, the reality is that it is impossible to get a mine from concept to production in this country anywhere sooner than between 10 to 25 years. This is the glaring reality when they have created such an anti-energy, anti-resource development, red tape mess that keeps Canadian resources and Canadian development in the ground.
You know, that sounds like it's ambitious, and it has to come with massive infrastructure, right, across the country, like charging stations. So I'm wondering, is Canada ready for that?
I would agree with you. It is an ambitious target. Are we ready? I'd say we are getting ready.
About 6 or 7 years ago on the Natural Resources Committee, we did analysis and work on the state of Canada's electrical grid right across the country. Canada's strength is in the diversity of energy sources, but there's one big piece missing, and that's the lack of interties, which is the infrastructure that can join electricity grids between each of the provinces, east to west and also north to south. 6 years ago, the committee pointed out that interties are not sufficient in Canada and that it's a high priority to join our electricity grid right across the country. So after 8 years, these NDP Liberals haven't even got the basic things done to ensure that Canadians everywhere can have affordable, abundant, reliable energy and electricity. And so now they're trying to tell you that in 11 years, they're going to be able to achieve something that's much more complicated, that it's much more complex, it's much more expensive and costly to get done, but they don't even have the basics. Now, this is the classic NDP Liberal approach of putting a cart before horse and making these goals and promises that they actually have no way to keep. They, like usual, are punishing Canada and Canadians because 85% of Canada's grid across the country is already green and renewable. And of course, like usual, the regions that will be the most hurt by their policy goal is Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Atlantic Canada. Now, you know that Conservatives support the acceleration of traditional oil and gas and exports, as well as green lighting green projects for future technologies, for the jobs, the businesses, and the economic opportunities that it brings Canadians in every part of the country. But the other reason that we support increasing energy and responsible resource development in Canada for Canadians, and also to be exported around the world, is to stop the reliance on hostile regimes and environmentally destructive slave and child labor that are used all around the world to produce these components. The NDP Liberals will have Canada rely on child and slave labor in other countries so that, Stephen Guilbeault can drive his electric vehicle to go get another cappuccino.
So I don't personally own a vehicle. I've never owned one, but my service vehicle as minister is a 100% electric vehicle. So I totally understand what some of the challenges are. I'm living it.
That is the real moral and ethical consequence of the NDP Liberals' anti-energy and anti-private sector agenda. People around the world are suffering every day through energy and food insecurity emergencies. Instead of jetting around the world to international conferences, setting goals that they have actually no ability to meet, and making plans for everybody else's lives to get more expensive and to be more difficult, Canada should be focused on these real ways that can improve the lives and the well-being of Canadians and people right around the world, instead of out-of-touch elite politicians putting their ideologies and their fantasies ahead of the best interests of everyone else. This is why Canada has to get energy policy right, and why it can no longer be dictated by radical anti-energy activists.